All right, this is Patrick with FullMetalRock.com. Pleasure speaking with the one and only Don Jamieson of the Powerhouse That Metal Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, thanks, dude. I see your website's all geared up for Christmas, man. It's looking good.
Oh, yeah, but Santa Claus hat on a skull, you know? Man, That Metal Show with Eddie Trunk. How did you get involved with that? Is somebody pulled you in, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, my other co-host, Jim Florentine, we were like fans of Eddie's radio show in New York because he's been doing metal radio for 25 years.
Yeah.
So, we'd hear this guy on the radio, and he could talk for 20 minutes about, a band like UFO, and we were like, damn, this guy talks like we do. We got to meet him. So we eventually met him one time. We started to come up on and guest on his radio show, and we developed, this kind of chemistry together. And we're all, we're three idiots from New Jersey, so we bond over that. And after a while, we said, hey, let's try to take this to the next level. Let's go, pitch a show where we just sit around and talk about metal like we do on the radio. So here we are.
Yeah.
Three idiots from New Jersey have 6 seasons of a TV show, and I believe me, I couldn't be happier, and it looks like we're going to do more in the new year.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. I mean, coming from back in my day, all we had was, the beginnings of MTV and Headbangers Ball, and then metal just disappeared because MTV turned to, whatever. And
Grunge!
VH1 kind of,
Grunge!
Yeah, grunge. Then VH1 kind of picked up with the, having some metal shows with metal videos, actual music videos.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, VH1 got y'all hooked up with the metal show, which is an awesome show, man. Great guest.
Thanks. No, and it's even though it's VH1 Classic, it's the smaller version of regular VH1. It's still a cool home for us because they do. At least they play this music. They play the artists that we have and talk about on the show. So, for people who don't know about VH1 Classic, just find regular VH1 and go like 150 channels past there, and you'll find it.
Yeah. But as far as like what y'all guests y'all have on the show, do y'all do any kind of, I guess, pre-work with the guest, or y'all just pretty much sit them down and just kick it off?
That's it, man. It's a hang. It's a metal hang. We never talk about the interviews. I'll jot some notes down. I'm sure the other guys do, but the best interviews are the ones you don't even get to what's in your notes.
Exactly.
You just get in there and just lay it down, man.
Yeah, that's what makes it good. Because I get out, I meet a bunch of I guess like Vince Neil, Molly Crew, Philip with Pantera. I meet all these guys out on the street and talk to them before the interview. Then we do the interview, and it's like sitting down, just talking.
Right,
no
exactly.
kind of notes. I don't want to read some magazine bullshit with a bunch of questions that everybody's going to ask, the same question over and over, and kind of learn nothing about who it is except for what you want to know. Yeah.
Yeah, because then there's no room to go anywhere if it's all scripted out. But at the same time, there are certain artists that come on the show that you have to ask certain questions because as a fan, we're fans, but so we know also what fans, want to hear about. So when Michael Anthony comes on the show, you got to ask them, why the fuck are you not in Van Halen?
Yeah.
You have to ask that question, and we did. But we're not trying to put anybody on the spot. Everyone knows it's a really casual atmosphere, and, so we really do, we get some great stuff out of people.
Yeah, that's what works. You just kick back and talk, and once you start shooting the shit, it starts flowing, How was it with Philip on the show?
Phil, I got to say, man, he is a one-man walking entertainment complex. He's amazing. I got to say, man, he really brought it on our show, man. He was a great guest. He's unhinged, and that worked perfectly for us.
He's off the chain. He's intense. He's a bigger fan than you can ever be.
Right, and exactly. And so he get all his, when we talk about music with him, his passion comes from being still an insane music fan.
Yeah. And he's still the same type of person he's been since day one with Pantera, which is kind of blows you away when you meet him because his personality succeeds his whole image.
Yeah, well, he's a guy like, Dave Mustaine, who, when you have them on the show, people, whether they like them or not, are going to watch because they're going to say anything that's on their mind, no matter what it is.
Yep. I guess, did y'all ever imagine being on, I guess y'all would make it to y'all 6th season?
No, we didn't even think we'd get past the pilot, you know. I was like, cool, I met Lita Ford and I made $1,000. What's next, you know?
Yeah.
But here we are, dude. It doesn't surprise me in the sense of, you know, that's how metalheads are. We seek out the things we like. We seek out certain types of music, you know, because you can't get every metal release in a Best Buy or a Walmart. So we have to go to mom and pop places and find new bands, you know, the little CD shops in the little, you know, corners, you know, of our towns across the country. And people that, when they hear about this show, they come find us. And, you know, I'm just glad they stayed with us, and, you know, because the metal audience is loyal. We're the most loyal audience ever. I mean, if you grow up liking metal, you'll like metal until you're 90. I mean, yep. It never leaves your blood.
Yep. And have you always been into metal? This is the thing since day one.
Since 9 years old, with the Kiss posters on my wall, and driving my mom crazy, cranking, you know, Destroyer, you know, 15 times a day at top volume, and she said I would never lead anywhere, but here I am.
Yeah, exactly. Got it. Any guests, I guess, that you haven't got yet, they're still trying to get a hold of?
Lady Gaga.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, no, he would be good on the show, but no, there's still some big names that haven't done the show. It was funny because we interviewed Lars, but it was backstage at a show, so we've never even had any of the Metallica guys actually in the studio. So obviously they would be, you know, a high priority for us. Eddie Van Halen and any of the Van Halens. I mean, we'll even take Wolfgang. I mean, we got to get those guys on. Ozzy, we got to get on still. So, you know, Brian Johnson from AC/DC. So we, you know, but a lot of it's just scheduling too. You know, it's like, are they in town when we're in town? And, you know, if they are, we hook it up. But we'll get all those guys on eventually.
Yeah. And y'all plan on staying based out of California compared to New York, or?
Everybody, you know, we're all East Coast, New York and New Jersey based, so we would love to bring the show back again to New York, but the truth of the matter is it's easier to get artists in L.A., so
yeah.
I'm not sure what the future holds, but, you know, we bang out a whole season in like a week, so, you know, it's not like I gotta pick up and move out there, you know, I can still keep my place in New York City.
Get it done. Anybody that you interviewed that kind of surprised you, I guess, from the intelligence or just from their personality?
Well, yeah, you know, when we had Steve Vai on the show,
yeah,
I'm a huge fan of Vai's. You know, just an incredible guitar player. But I'd never heard him interviewed anywhere, so I thought he was going to come on and talk about, you know, music theory and pentatonic scales and, you know, all this stuff. But God damn it, if he wasn't one of the funniest guests we had on, he was great, man. He was telling stories about, you know, touring and partying with Roth and, you know, Whitesnake and, you know, his Frank Zappa days. And he was such a great guest. And so, yeah, he was a guy that I didn't have a preconceived notion about him, but I just figured, having never heard him interviewed anywhere, he's just dry, you know.
Quite, yeah.
Yeah, but he was great, and I'm still friends with him to this day, which is awesome.
Cool. And as far as your stand-up goes, you're still doing stand-up in between all this?
Yeah, I'm always on the road. I'm always doing shows, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do my first live stand-up CD for Metal Blade Records. I just signed a deal with them, and I'm so pumped to do that, man.
That's the shit, Metal Boy. That's getting a good. You doing a comedy album?
Yeah, I'm going to do my live stand-up, and I'm going to look. I'm on the same label as King Diamond. I mean, this is how evil is this, man? This is so cool, dude.
Which King Diamond just had some heart problems too. Triple bypass. I saw that.
It sounds like he's doing pretty well though. It sounds like he came through it okay. Yeah.
Comedy, you have more of a pull now that you've been on that metal show, as far as, you know, people now that they want to talk to you before as a comedian and try to pull you back in?
Well, there's definitely more mullets in the audience than there used to be.
Yeah.
which is awesome. You know, that makes me feel safe. It makes me feel safe. But yeah, it's cool, man, because even in just regular comedy clubs and theaters that I play, you know, it's not just people coming out on a Friday or Saturday night to get some laughs. You know, people are coming to see me, which is exciting, you know, because, you know, you play so many shows a year, and, you know, obviously you want to do well, but, you know, instead of a room of 300 people who just come to see comedy, and then maybe one or two after the show go, oh, you're the guy from that TV thing. You know, now it's like, now people are like, I came to see you, you know, specifically, and that's really cool.
Oh, yeah. You ever like, does it ever get any heated when you have like a throwdown? You ever get heated like after the show's over? Anybody
I would say,
yeah,
I would say at least 75% of those throwdowns keep going. Like when you see the credits going and they play the music and you see us all talking to each other, we're still doing it.
It's still rolling, huh?
Yeah, because even though they're not recording us anymore, or it's, you know, the time has expired, you get so caught up into it sometimes, you still feel like you got to make your point, even though it's no one's going to hear it.
Yeah, you just got to finish that point off, and you'll be all right.
Exactly.
Cool, man. Well, look forward to your album next year. You have any last words to any fans maybe listening?
Hey, I just want to thank them and you, you know, for supporting the show. And the cool thing is, you know, guys like you, with a great website. We're all in this together. We're all trying to keep, you know, the music that we love alive. So thanks to everybody.